Oh, by the way, Slow King Pants, you played in front of 58,000 people by the end of that. 58,000. Now, for those of you just joining us, this is Summer Games Done Quick 2014, hosted by Speed Demos Archive and Speedruns Live. Speed Demos Archive has speedruns of over 1,000 games, and it's great for learning more about the game mechanics. Speedruns Live is the best site to race video games online against others, and it's speedrunslive.com. Our beneficiary is Doctors Without Borders. They're an international medical humanitarian organization. They provide independent and partial assistance in more than 60 countries to people whose survival is threatened by violence, epidemics, natural disasters, and in 1999 they received the Nobel Peace Prize for their efforts. Now, we also have upcoming donation incentives. Upcoming is, you guys have already met Extra Mode for Kirby's Dream Land and the Hand Cam for Kirby Superstar because you guys are so generous. Now for Banjo-Tooie, completing the 4 Canary Mary races is at $593 out of $750. And upcoming tonight is BioShock 2 Good vs. Bad Ending. Currently, the good ending is winning at $80, and the bad ending is at $55. Now, we do have a prize from this game up until a Super Monkey Ball 2. It's an SGDQ chainmail inlay. It's a very nice design, and it is a 10. And if you donate $10 or more from this game until
Super Entertainment America presents
Super Monkey Ball 2, you'll be eligible to win the prize.
a Universal Interactive Studios production. A game created and developed by Naughty Dog. Bandicoot 4. Press start to begin. Press start to begin.
We have a $5 donations from Gareth Edwards. My first SGDQ, and I'm loving it. Keep up the good work for an amazing cause. $25 from Drasnikov. Since you didn't read my other $35 donation, here is another 25. MV Game. $25 from Seeking Snorlax. I've been an avid watcher for years, and I've always loved every minute of it. This is my limit for right now, but I'll definitely be donating more throughout the marathon. $25 from Lewis Murphy. Hey guys, great runs for a great cause. Glad to contribute. I also brought the Humble Bundle. Speaking of that, we do have a Humble Bundle available for this marathon. If you purchase it for $25 or more, all the proceeds go to Doctors Without Borders, and you'll get games such as Knowing 2 Love 2 Devolution, Amnesia Machine for Pigs, Bleed, Dust Force, Guacamelee, The Basement Collection, Psychonauts, and more. Also, our current donation total is $22,765.52, which is awesome. You guys are all very generous.
Press stop to begin.
And this is Crash Bandicoot Warped with Saboom.
I thought you said like corkscrew sound like Saboom. Okay. Yeah, we're pretty much good to go. Yeah, we're good. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Saboom, and this is Crash Bandicoot Warped, aka Crash 3. Let's see. The objective of this run is, of course, to beat Cortex and get to the credits. During the course of this, I'll be doing 25 individual levels and beating 5 bosses. This is, of course, an underwater level. This is actually very cycle-based. A lot to this is just sort of different patterns that occur that influence different cycles to happen, and just making the most of that. Puffer fish going up and down, sharks going back to forth, electrical gates sort of spinning around, things like that. Definitely change the name of the game for this level. In fact, I may be able to clutch this out if I'm lucky.
Ooh,
okay,
nice.
there we go. It's closer than it had to be. So I'm first approaching this pink crystal coming up, that there. That is what I'll be going for in each level. That's just what you're looking to collect. As soon as you get all 5 crystals in each of the warp rooms, it spawns a boss level. The first boss is Tiny the Tiger. And another thing you may notice is I'm doing the levels out of order. A lot of that doesn't really matter too much, but the big thing is I'm always trying to get the invincibilities in the platformers. And the way you get invincibility in this game is by getting 3 masks. As you can see, I already have one following me. The reason I did level 2 first is because you can't get invincibility in an underwater level. So if you could pick up a mask, then that's just kind of definitely benefiting you.
Why would you want invincibility? Wouldn't you not get hit ever?
Invincibility actually makes you go faster in this game, so it is quite beneficial. Oh, thank you. So as you'll see coming up, as I enter level 1, which is a platformer, I will be able to get invincibility in that level and save a few seconds on the movement. And speaking of the movement, I'll be getting a little more into detail on that coming up. Kind of close. And I mean, already we're doing all kinds of different things in this game. There's a lot of like vehicle-based things. It's not all just platforming with Crash, which was a big step up from the previous game, Crash Bandicoot 2. We got underwater levels, jet ski levels, motorcycle levels later, flying levels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tiger levels, riding a tiger will be coming up. So, okay, so I'm actually glitching the movement right now, before I get too far ahead of myself. The method of movement I'm doing, which may look kind of funny to some people who have played this game before, you may remember like a slide spin being the fastest form of movement, but what I'm actually doing here is called a neutral slide jump. And what I'm doing now is a neutral slide jump with invincibility. So as you can see, I'm just sort of cruising through these levels really, really fast. The way you do this is you slide and then you let go of the direction. And for whatever reason, that just adds sort of an extra kick to your jump. You carry the slide speed. So instead of moving at like a walking pace like you would if you were to spin at the end of the slide, you actually kind of get like sort of a double slide effect to it. So that's a taste of platforming in this game. It's a lot of jumping around. Of course, you space yourself out so that you don't end up neutral slide jumping straight down a hole. So in some cases, I will be doing things like slide spinning. That'll come up from time to time. Okay, up here we have a tiger level where you ride on a tiger. There's not a whole lot to this level, but there's some funny, like, hit detection towards the end. And you can actually do a trick that saves about 6 seconds in this level. A lot of the time saving in this game is just really subtle, small stuff. Yeah, there's that too. You can kind of just run over some of the holes because you're going so fast, I guess. Alright, so this will give you a small taste of it here. Oh, actually, that wasn't quite what I was going for, but here we go. Running on the roof and missing the trick. That's okay. Yeah, if I were to do that right, I would have jumped so far that I would have just spun straight into the warp and skipped the little animation of snuggling the tiger. So it was cute, so we don't want to skip that. Another platformer coming up here. This one features a dinosaur chasing you down. Exactly.
Zigzagging?
Zigzagging.
Yeah.
All right, we could explain a bit of zigzagging. Zigzagging is something that's a part of a lot of different Crash Bandicoot games. For some reason, I don't know if it was, I couldn't imagine it was really intended, but if you move side to side, you actually move faster. So if I'm moving backwards, if I'm pressing on the D-pad continuously left and right, it'll cause me to go faster. If I'm moving forward, it's the same. It's basically the two surrounding directions. So if I'm moving to the right, zigzagging would consist of up and down inputs.
Is it okay if I read off some donations now?
Yeah.
We have $50 from Wilfried Guillotot, because Envy is a wonderful singer. Thanks, guys, for the entertainment. Yeah, if you guys have not seen Envy on the Final Fantasy VI opera, you have not made it. We also have $250 from Dave Whiteman. Get Daved. We also have $500 from Daniel Kellogg, and we have a very mature donation from a Magic Puddle in $420.69, and the comment is ##. Because Twitch
so
brings out the best.
first boss of the run. And a lot of you may remember this boss as a kid having trouble with this, but there's actually a trick you can do here that just makes it a lot safer. So if you go stand in this corner, the lions that come out just can't hit you, so I don't have to do anything at all. That's the only safe spot. If you stand anywhere else, even in the other side, if you go into this corner over here, like they'll hit you. Just one little overlooked space that you can be. And you can do whatever. I can be jumping. I could be spinning. I'm totally safe here. They have no way of hitting me. That's the first warp room done. This game works in warp rooms. Clap for Tiny. All right.
I like that body. From the top rope.
So as you can see, just another set of 5 levels in the second warp room. And this one introduces a couple new kinds of levels, but we'll be getting into that. Warp 2 probably has some of the most difficult platforming as well. This level here has a lot of really tough jumps and stuff. Also, one of the most useful invincibilities in the game in this level. You climb the monkey bars usually at a very slow pace, but if you have invincibility, as you can see, I'm just breezing through this. Yeah. Probably saves 15, 20 seconds perhaps.
Yo, are you canceling those carpets that's sitting on them?
Yep, that's another thing, yeah. Normally if you land normally if you land on those carpets, you'll bounce, but if you spin, it does cancel that out, which saves a little bit of time. It's really not even a hard jump. I can't believe I died there after all that. Exactly. All right, so the big thing that does, it's not just like a 15-second death. It also got rid of all of my masks. And come to think of it, I probably shouldn't have entered this level, but that's okay. A lot of the level order in this game is often determined by whether or not you take an unintentional hit. So if you're to lose a mask or to die and lose all of your masks, it definitely changes how you'd want to go about the warp room. But that's lucky. Good door cycles there. That's pretty rare. Oh, God, dude. Well, that's not good. That's okay though, the deaths so far have been pretty minimal. The big stuff is later.
So just an update on bids and challenges for Blue Glass to play Echo the Dolphin tomorrow. We're at a little over halfway the goal at $1,042 out of 2,000. For the Banjo Dewey Complete 4 Canary Mary races, it's at $613 out of 750, so we're getting pretty close to that. And for the BioShock Good versus Bad ending, it's good. They are both tied at $105. To have Amnesia Justine be played, it's at $0 out of 400, and that'll be on tonight. So you better get your donations in soon if you want to see Amnesia Justine.
So as you can see here, another tiger level. This one's kind of themed at nighttime. Kind of, just kind of. There's not a whole lot going on here. Unfortunately, no way to skip the animation on this level. But it is. It is.
We have 2 new donations. $50 from Jenny Poe. It doesn't get any better than playing games to raise money for a great cause. You guys are fantastic for doing this every year. Thank you. And we have $20 from MJ Coolneck. Hi everyone at SGDQ. Looking forward to all the awesome games and runners. But now, Crash Bandicoot 3. Good luck to Saboom, one of my favorite streamers. Greetings from Germany.
Thanks a lot.
German Tremmel. Let's see.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing that went wrong with this run so far was the fact that I lost those 2 masks all falling down the hole in level 7. It definitely put me at quite a setback, but that's okay. We've got double masks again, and that's what's important. Like, the big thing with this game is often just not taking damage. Dying is not even something that happens like too often. It's just, when you get hit, it's like almost just as bad as a death. That's the thing.
I mean, just look how much faster you're moving compared to the mass.
Yeah,
A huge time.
to not get invincibility, definitely. Oh goodness. Dude. That's okay though. We've got a backup mask in Warp 3. This is actually, yeah, it's actually going not amazingly so far, but that's okay. Also, yeah, motorcycle level. First motorcycle level, there's 3 of them. They're, I don't know, some people seem to think they're a little overdone, but these are good levels. This one, you can take this very first boost and just go all the way.
So how does that work?
You just hold X and dodge around a bunch of stuff. A whole lot to it.
Don't be bad.
I'm bad, I guess. Dang. That's only like 2 seconds lost, so. It's weird, it seems like it's a lot more than it actually is. Using the boost.
So, just remember that for this event, you can watch it on gamesdonequick.com, which not only lets you, watch the stream with Twitch chat, but it also has a ticker for the bids and upcoming prizes, also with the donations, including the ones that we can't read off because there's just so many. You guys are just too generous. And also has a nice big donate link and links to the tracker so you can keep track of all the bids and prizes.
So yeah, as you may have noticed already, this boss fight's going a lot quicker than some of you may remember. You can actually do a thing called a glitch high jump and just jump straight over the crystals. The way this fight's supposed to work is you wait a little while and Dingo Dial fires a bunch of shots and then he eventually blows down the crystals with his flamethrower or something like that. But you can turn a fight that takes about 2 minutes into something that's about 30 seconds just by jumping straight over and hitting him. There's no extra prevention from that happening. So, quickest fight in the game. And onward to Warp 3. Here's where I'll pick up the backup mask. There's this strat that sort of helps to not have to do this, but once again, the route is pretty flexible. You're often working around an unintended hit that you might take on accident. It's very easy to just take damage. And this is the second underwater level of 2. So second and last. Here's the extra mask, so I'll be able to do the platformers with double masks if things go well. Also, I guess I never actually pointed out, but of course the fastest method of movement for underwater levels is just kind of a combination of pressing X and square, which is kicking your feet and spinning. Spinning is the fastest, as you can see. You sort of get like a boost every time you spin. But since you can't do that like all the time, you just kick your feet in the downtime. Also, wow, speaking of cycles, or, well, I mean, I mentioned cycles, maybe not actively speaking of them, but I mentioned cycles in level 2. That was actually really interesting here. That's totally fine, by the way. That doesn't even lose any time, yeah. Yeah, I got insane cycles on that level. I don't think I've ever even like seen that. That was really, really good. Alright, this is high time. This is a scary level. Like, in my attempts at this game, like on my own stream, this is often a place where runs come to die. But I'm feeling pretty good about this. Hopefully this will go smooth. The big thing is like not just suddenly finding myself in a hole. Like, that is so...
What was that about?
I know, dude. I actually just derped up the inputs. That was really unfortunate because I could have just dropped right on the carpet and... Oh my god. That's okay. Dude, I'm so sad about that. That was like perfect cycles and Oh, not good, dude. Those scorpions have very weird hitboxes.
So for those of you curious about the sub button, it not only gives you the icons below, the image is actually wrong. It's actually SGDQ for the prefix for those icons, and thanks to Twitch, all of the sub money will go to Doctors Without Borders.
So some more pretty good platforming here. Because I guess, you know, as you could probably tell at this point, the levels often follow a theme, and they do that theme a handful of times. This is the third in medieval, I guess, themed levels. These are all pretty basic platformers, but pretty good all the same.
So we have a $20 donation from William Ross, also known as Ross Evans family, from Saboom's family, watching your every move, not understanding any of it, but behind you all the way. Love from Mom and Will.
Thanks, guys. Doke, that's 2 levels down? Or 3 levels down. Coming up is probably one of my favorites. This level has a pretty cool trick that involves, there's a dinosaur that you ride, and it involves taking the dinosaur past the part that the game like forces you to get off. You can actually just take it past that point and use it for the rest of the level, and it's pretty neat. Yeah. Crash Bandicoot clone fish dudes.
by the way, for this game, up until a Super Monkey Ball 2, there is a prize available, an SGDQ chainmail inlay. You can look at the link, the image on our tracker, and it's a really beautiful, just image of our logo in chainmail. And if you donate $10 or more in one shot, you will be eligible for it.
So what that did was take the dinosaur past the point that you're supposed to get off it. And it has a few weird effects. As you can see, the game's kind of freezing from time to time. It also like discolors the boxes. As you can see, they're darkened out. I don't really know why it does that. It just kind of confuses the game, I guess. Yeah, once again, those lag spikes that occurred, that was all in the game. It wasn't like stream drops or anything. But that's always cool. I like that you're on a dinosaur being chased by a dinosaur. I don't know why they didn't include that like as part of the level. It's like I said, that was definitely a trick, taking the dinosaur past there. It's just a wall they programmed that makes you get off, and if you body slam, you can just take it past. And another motorcycle level here. This one's a bit longer, and it's got a couple tricks to it. Another thing is there's some cycles to be had even in these levels, because the racers always move at the same speed. So you can sort of plan where you're going to be in relation to the blue drivers.
We do have 2 donations.
All right, so we got this. If you're not fast enough there, that racer will get in your way. And as you take that boost, you can plunk the back of them, and it just slows you down a lot. Nice. That's fine. Dipped in the mud a little bit, but not quite. That's all right. You can take that boost past the ramp, as I did, but oddly enough, I connected with a couple hitboxes in like really strange ways there. So I was kind of ricocheted off. And that's that.
We do have
So we're on to one of the more boring boss fights of the game, I would say.
It looks fun.
It does. I mean, it's pretty good. It's boring in terms of like, if you're speedrunning this game a lot, it's just real auto-scroller type thing. But there's kind of a cool trick, I guess. I guess I'd call it a trick that you can do that involves standing on a part of the scenery down below. I'm going to be doing that right now. So, so I can just sit here and I'll avoid all of his attacks. Not that they're hard to dodge, but you know, why not?
It just looks better.
Exactly. There we go. Sometimes it's actually hard to get off of there. I've died trying to jump over to entropy by doing that, but that went well. Also, another thing to note, I'm at 1 mask right now. I've just got a single mask, and you know, as usual, it's always better to have double, but going into Warp 4, as I'm about to be doing, there's a free mask that you can get in a jet ski level. So you wouldn't be able to utilize the mask anyways. There's also a trick that probably won't happen, but sometimes you'll be teleported right And I got it. All right,
Oh, there we go.
All right, so what happens there usually is it just spits you out of the level, which includes about a 4-second animation of Crash being tossed out of the level, but it gave me the teleport, which definitely saved a bit of time. We've not been able to figure out what's the cause of getting the teleport, but it just seems like some strange RNG thing. Like, I couldn't imagine why that is, but yeah, not that we've been able to tell. I'd imagine that there's got to be something that makes it happen. It's just really hard to pinpoint.
We have 2 donations, $50 from Eric Helgeson, and all that he wants to say is cheers, and we have $60 from Tom Dooley. Also, the Yeti, being the generous people they are, they're having a t-shirt sale this Summer Games Done Quick. There are 8 t-shirts available for sale, including everyone's favorite Deer Force t-shirt, and $3 of every t-shirt will go to Doctors Without Borders, and that $3 is basically what the Yeti and the artists would make as profit. So basically, any profit goes straight to Doctors Without Borders.
So yeah, another semi-boring level, you know, not a whole lot going on here. But coming up after this, I'm gonna be entering level 20. It's called Tomb Waiter, which is like the most notorious level for just being very, very difficult in this run. There's a cycle that I can make, and also, yeah, a couple neat little tricks there, just slight, optimization, like saving some frames. Yeah, coming up in Tomb Waiter, the level is completely cycle-based, and you'll see what it's all about in a second. It's got water that rises up and down, and if you get caught in the water, you drown and just die instantly. It's like falling down a hole in a sense. So we'll see how this goes. There's a cycle that I'm looking to catch because the water is always going to do the same thing. Yeah, we're looking really, really good on that cycle. I think we got this. Bam, look at that. We call that the womb tater. It's got a name. Catching that cycle is a trick we like to refer to as the womb tater. For no particular reason, it's just what we call it. And from here, it's just like you can pretty much go beast mode because the water doesn't rise up when you have invincibility. Yeah, gotcha. We got caught up on that dude for a second.
So for those of you just joining us, this is Summer Games Done Quick 2014, hosted by Speed Demos Archive and Speedruns Live. Speedruns Archive is a great place for speedrun videos. We have speedruns of over 1,000 games, and it's a great place to share strategy.
Yeah, that's very relieving. There were a couple little slip-ups in the beginning, but if I could pull off a good second half, then that would be really cool. There's also 2 patterns that can happen in this level as far as like the cycles of these lasers. And yeah, I did just get the good one. It's RNG. But yeah, it's definitely the one I'm looking for. If you don't get the good one, you can just 3D jump around the lasers, which just means kind of abuse your environment to get by without waiting. But of course, that's not as fast. It is a detour in a sense. Awesome.
All of your donations for Summer Games Done Quick are
Yeah.
going to Doctors Without
kinda worried
Borders, a great humanitarian aid charity that provides assistance to over 60 countries that need assistance because of neglect, violence, natural disasters, and the like. And in 1999, they won a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, so as you can see, after you get the death tornado spin from Entropy, a lot of the platforming just becomes, just kind of flying over stuff. I guess that's something I did forget to mention, though. As you can see, I mean, at the beginning of the run, I didn't have double jump. I now have double jump. And of course, at the beginning of the run, I had a much simpler form of spinning. So you do get power-ups after beating each boss. I guess that's a pretty big detail I left out. Yeah. Also neat little 3D jump on that diagonal there. Bad cycle. Also, I do have to wait for this one. However, this one, let's go ahead and make that jump. Alright, so the platformer levels in this warp just almost went well. No, missing that button was kind of silly, but yeah, really, really good platforming in this warp. The last thing here is 17, which actually eats, yeah. Yeah, I really like this level. This is the first flying level. And yeah. And it eats your mask when you enter, so I don't have double masks anymore, but of course that's unavoidable. So you just take care of all the platforming first. So just knock down 7 blimps and you're good to go. You have enemies shooting at you, but they don't do very much. They do a lot more in the next flying level, which will be in the 5th warp room. Also, the 4th boss and Jin coming up. This one's very unlike the others. It's not very auto-scroller. You can either save or lose a lot of time here due to just either getting a good fight or not getting such a good fight. I almost had a strategy that's really hard to get there. You can knock off both of his arms. Yeah, I was a couple of shots short on that left one. You can knock off both of the side arms in a single cycle. Alright, for the most part though, that was really, really good. We're going right into the other flyer. This one's a bit more dangerous. The worst thing that can happen is getting actually killed by, just losing all your health. And the only time that ever really happens is like right at the end, so hopefully you can avoid that. I think these guys do 4 times the amount of damage they do in bye-bye blimps. So when they start hitting you, you lose a lot of health. You can sort of dodge their shots by barrel rolling though. It's actually going exceptionally well too, and I haven't even gotten hit until that. But whatever. They're not gonna kill me at this point. That's the important thing. I could take some damage. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, that was actually very, very good. Also, the neat thing about losing your masks in Warp 4 is that when you enter 25 here, there's actually 3 mask crates all on top of each other, stacked on top of each other. And that's probably one of the more memorable things about this game is those formation of mask crates. Like, anybody who played this game surely remembers the 3 masks just sitting all right next to each other. I'm sure like all players were just really happy to see that. It's a free invincibility. So. I'm also going to get hit right now, and that causes that door to stay open, so that was definitely on purpose. There we go. Yep. Swag. You can actually jump on nitros and jump off without taking damage in this game. It's pretty funny.
Is there like a big window for that? No.
It's fairly precise.
Good job.
And there's one more invincibility in the run, but there's 3 enemies that are going to try their hardest to prevent me from getting it. So this dude can be bad, and then these 2 guys.
Kind of.
Sweet. Scary. That's totally fine. Oh, that's kind of depressing, but that's okay. Yeah, at this point, if I get hit, of course, not a big deal. There's no more invincibilities. The only thing is I don't want to die, so I can't take any more hits. I've exceeded my limit. Just gonna wait for those. This guy's kind of just 3D jump around them.
shoot him with the fruit bazooka?
Well, I might be using the bazooka in 23. Coming up in a minute. Engine, after beating Engine, you get a bazooka. And it has very little place in a speedrun, but it comes up from time to time.
We have a $50 donation from Tuckerov. You're doing this for a good reason for good people, Saboom. Hopefully, Jumpy Luff is treating you right.
Tucker, thanks a lot, man.
We also have a $50 donation from Thomas that says, kill the animals.
Oh yeah.
Alright, coming up.
Yes.
Thank you, Blue Glass. Coming up here is a hole skip. You're supposed to kind of just ride the ramp over that hole, but you can speed straight over it. Yeah. Alright, so yeah. You can keep your wheelie a lot longer than intended.
Okay.
You can also, hopefully, I'll be able to skip a couple holes at the end if I could line it up. Yeah,
Well, they're jagged.
Perfect science too.
That's not it. I'm gonna have to cut it out. That's okay.
Dude, I have no idea what pits are. I can't see.
Anything.
But yeah, if you can get that right, you can just drive straight over the 3 holes at the end. Oh yeah, definitely. This level's not only got some difficult platforming, but a lot of enemies, a lot of, you know, those guys. That's actually really interesting. That hit me when I was way high up. Usually you can jump right over that, no problem. Oh my god. Back over here, that's okay.
We have a $35 donation from Prototype X. Been counting down the days until SGDQ since AGDQ ended. Let's get 1 million again. I would completely agree with that. We would love to get $1 million again this year for Doctors Without Borders.
Jeez.
Alright, so that's all 25 crystals. Off to defeat Cortex. Another, well actually this one's a bit of a combination. I wouldn't really call it an auto-scroller or something like Engine where it's all about just how well you do. But there is a set amount of time that this fight takes. The only thing that changes is how fast you hit Cortex into the holes. And oh my gosh, I just had a brain fart. I thought they were going to go to the right. I was just about to say it. They always do the same thing, so I'm totally safe staying here. But. if I get a mine placed there, it just bounces them in. Alright, so the third phase, they kind of clash together. Go boom. Cortex is still firing shots. And this should be it. Time is when I grab the power up. Basically. It's actually when I press triangle, but. So that is time. What? I didn't even hear it.
Yeah, there's a high 40.
High 40. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Cool.
Beat it again. This is not
Sweet. Very happy with that. That was a good one.
Return to a
Nice
nice
one.
big beach with a nice
It was a pleasure watching. Yeah, I'll pack away.
nice bags of ice for my head.
So yeah, thanks everybody. Hope you all enjoyed the run. Shout outs to that cutscene.
Wins for 20%. One more.
I didn't really figure this out, dude.
Escape. One nail pop.
Alright, dude. Alright.
I'm gonna head.
Yeah.